welcome to this edition of Your High School Sports. I'm your host, Roddy Woods, along with Chris Blevins, who is back, and Chris Reddick. We're here to talk about all the high school action in the Tri-Cities all the way down to Knoxville. Guys, it's good to be together again.
Oh, man, it's so good to be back, and it's starting to feel like football again, and we appreciate Buddy's Barbecue for all the food and all the good drinks they brought us here today. But, yeah, it's great to have football back, and definitely this past weekend being the first weekend of high school football, it was a pretty awesome week.
All right, so let's jump on in there. This segment is sponsored by Buddy's Barbecue in Sevierville. As you travel from the Tri-Cities down to Sevier County area, stop by and see Kenny and his crew, the best barbecue in town. Buddy's Barbecue, right there on Highway 66. Well, it's time for Around the Nation, and it's Around the Nation's first show jitters, okay? Around the Nation and across the region. Chris Reddick is going to give us what's going on around the nation.
Around the nation. Well, you know, guys, we just got started, so there's not much to talk about yet. But, you know, the USA Today, they had it ranked their top 25. And, of course, coming in at number one, you guys know this team, IMG Academy. We know all about it. We know about all the top-notch players that are going to all these big schools, Florida State, and you know what. Well, guess what? Right out the bat, they took a loss.
Took a loss?
Took a loss.
Out in the beginning.
You know Lake City, Florida. Are you familiar with that?
I'm familiar with
There
Lake
is
City,
this little school called Columbia, and they took on Columbia and were defeated. They were humbled in this game. Now, what happened was, I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. They get a bye with this one because it was actually a scrimmage. But it was still a humbling effect that happened to IMG because it happened at the beginning of the year to a team they probably thought they were going to pummel. But guess what? What made this interesting is the starters, they played two halves, and both starters on both sides played the first half, and they were getting whooped 33-30. No, 33-13.
Whoa.
So that is an eye-opener. The coach said, I think it was Coach Brown from Columbia, he said, look, we don't care about 5 stars. We're not concerned about what you're labeled. We come to play some football. So he's like, you know, I got a little word of advice. If you want to play the game of football, make sure you don't take advantage of the teams you're playing because these guys are coming at you the way Columbia did. So, you know what? If you're going to take a loss, it's better to take one in the scrimmage. So I think IMG probably got the message, and I think the tables will probably turn next week.
Yes,
so.
probably.
I
wouldn't want to play it. But Chris Blevins is here, and he's going to talk about what's happening around the region. You got out to see the East-West game last week.
I just want to kind of recap you on that. I mean, again, there's not a lot I talked about of the first week in the books, but when we talk about East-West, like we talk about every year, I talked about on media day that you saw last week, we talked to both Coach Wells and the West coach there, and I went to the game and I wanted to share something with y'all that I saw. I think East might be a little better than anticipated, and I think West might be a little bit more talked up than what they might be, which is a little bit nerve-wracking. I'll tell you why. We had I think Zach Young, the quarterback for West. I mean, talk about a kid that does it all for the football team. I watched him from the start of the game. He was in almost every scoring play. And the final score, by the way, the East-West game was 28-23 with East just about coming back. But I'll tell you more about that in a second. But, guys, I tell you what, when I think about that game, and I know West is playing Greeneville this next week, and that would be a game we always talk about, I'm a little nervous that Greeneville might have an edge because we might have a one-man show here at West. Mr. Zach, he plays quarterback. He looks like he played safety. He played punter. He played almost every position out there, and I'll tell you what, he made it happen. He had a pick six right before halftime, which pretty much broke the game open for West, and it happened for that. I think East would have came back. He was on almost every drive. He probably had 2 passing touchdowns. I know he must have ran for over 100 yards. I have the stats in front of me, but it's pretty amazing to see how that works. But you all know that it takes a team to win.
Yes,
and it's next week against Greeneville. When we come back next week, I can't wait to break down that game and talk to you about around the region on that game because Greeneville has a team that, you know, might be the state again like they always are. I think they are the real deal. So we'll talk about that next week. But stay tuned to Zach Young. He's a fine NFL player.
Classification?
West is 6A.
West is 6A,
no, what classification is the young kid?
What year he is
yeah,
again?
what year is he?
Let's see. He's 5'9", 155. I'm not sure what year. It looks like he's senior.
Okay.
Senior this year.
Senior.
Sorry,
He
got
may
it
be
here.
coming back again.
No, I mean, and I've not heard that name before, but y'all know this time of the year is when you start hearing names
Yeah.
you never heard
yeah.
and go into the future. So,
So that's one.
watch out for
one to
him.
know.
Look out for him.
Zach Young.
So we've covered around the nation and across the region, sponsored by Buddy's Barbecue. We'll be right back here on Your High School Sports. And when Bart Lyons is going to join us, and he's going to talk about what's going on in the northeast part of Tennessee. We'll be right back here on Your High School Sports, powered by Mystic Mountain Media.
Get the right services you need from a name you can trust at Crescent Center Drugs. Whether it's hormone replacement therapy or if you need to update your immunizations for flu, pneumonia, or shingles, Crescent Center Drugs has a professional and friendly staff always ready to take care of you. That's why for many years, Crescent Center Drugs has been your good neighbor pharmacy. Right now, getting your medicine is fast and easy when you sign up for the IVR system. It's simple. Once your prescription is filled, your box is scanned, and you instantly receive a phone call or text for pickup. Visit Crescent Center Drugs inside the Crescent Shopping Center.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports. Now on the line with us is our correspondent in the Northeast, Bart Lyons. Bart, I know we're going to talk about that Science Hill Elizabethton game last, but give us a rundown on last Friday's games up there.
Hey, a lot of good action up there, up in East Tennessee. Big shout out and congratulations to the David Crockett Pioneers and their first-year head coach, Hayden Shanley. Very young, bright, hard-working, a young man that's took control of the head coaching position at David Crockett, and they were able to get a 21-7 victory over Seymour. A real good running attack led by Raquel Joyner, leading the way for the Pioneers, and big win for them. First win. I think he's a 26-year-old kid, and he has done an absolutely great job. And what a fine young man they got on the sideline at David Crockett.
All right.
Hey, another big win, Unaka Rangers. They got the season off right with a 20-12 victory over North Green Huskies. So great things happening up there in Stony Creek. You know, just a few years ago, they were one of the teams that chose not to participate in the playoffs. And they've got a new coach and got things heading in the right direction, and good things happening on Stony Creek, no doubt. Up at Tennessee High, Coach Mike Mays and company got a big victory, a 19-16 victory over Knox Central, and good job to all the Vikings up there, and Coach Mays does a great job. Two big games that are upcoming for this week, and this is in Carter County, is Hampton versus Johnson County and Clallan versus North Green. So those ought to be two very good matchups that people up here in Upper East Tennessee have circled on their calendars as far as big-time games on Friday night.
You had two big games last Friday night. You had Greeneville traveling up to Dobbins Bennett, their first-year head coach. Talk a little bit about that game.
Now you're talking about what team again?
Greeneville and Dobbins Bennett.
Yeah. Oh, Coach Christman over at Dobbins Bennett. Yeah. Man, what can you say about Greeneville? Man, oh man, they are a machine. Probably at least 5, maybe 6 Division I players on that team, and well coached. And we've got them on the schedule and coming up. And man, we better be ready when we take on the Greeneville Green Devils. I'm predicting them right now. They'll go back to back and win the state championship once again.
You're right. We talked to Coach Ballard, Chris did last week, and we're kind of keeping it on the down low. But I believe Greeneville could win back to back.
Yeah, no doubt about that.
Now, let's talk about the big game between you guys, Science Hill Hilltoppers, and Elizabethton Cyclones. It sounds like a
knockdown drag out at Citizens Bank over there in Elizabethton. Toppers took one on the chin with the 36 defeat by the Cyclones. The Cyclones were able to score 36 points on us, and we got close. We were scoring 34. Just wasn't able to get that 2-point conversion, and Sean Witten, he had them heading in the right direction there the other night. And they'll be tough in their league, and they'll be ready to go. Of course, that stopped a 8-game winning streak by the Hilltoppers. We ran off about 8 in a row on them. But a couple guys that caught my eye for Elizabeth, the sophomore linebacker Deuce Martin, special teams player, kicking specialist Jackson Holly. They have a very talented wide receiver, Parker Hughes, and of course, Mr. Do-It-All, Corey Russell. Great job by the Cyclones. They deserve a tip of the hat. But, our Hilltoppers, man, we'll rebound and we'll be ready to go. Got the little one Owls coming in to Kermit the Stadium. We're going to kick it off about 7:30 for everyone in Johnson City. Hey, come on out. We need to support these kids, get back on the winning track. And if they're not able to come out and watch the game live, of course, they can go to ESPN Tri-Cities, 97.7 FM, 1590 AM, and this is yours truly on the radio with Nate Granati.
Well, Mr. Bart Lyons, we appreciate you being a part of Your High School Sports. Every week you give us a rundown on what's going on up there in the Northeast state. So we appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next week.
Guys, as always, go Toppers.
Thanks, Bart. Bart's always here with something fantastic. I know your Cyclones got his Hilltoppers last Friday night.
Final.
But the way Bart's talking, I think the Hilltoppers has got something. They'll be back around. And we'll see in a couple of weeks when they play Greeneville.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We'll know that.
Oh, yeah.
We'll know that. All right, guys, it's time for the Ball Corporation Games of the Week. Okay? Well, I'm going to leave that one out first. Let's go DB Oak Ridge.
Okay, DB Oak Ridge. You want me to set that up?
You can.
Both teams kind of unpredictable at this point of the season. They've both had great teams in the past couple of years. Of course, we all know about T. Higgins and know about the team last year. But they got a few returning players coming back to
Caillou's son.
Oh, yeah, Caillou's son. He'll be back. Actually, it's his senior year, so he's a kid to watch. Dobbins Bennett got real tough running backs, which really disturbing to me when I saw that score with Greeneville, that they got beat so bad, because I thought they would probably have a better established running game. But Dobbins Bennett, they've lost a lot too. So this is one game, it's early in the year, it's really hard to call who I'm going to pick, especially after I just saw what happened with DB. Now, here's the thing. Dobbins Bennett's got to go to, last year, Oak Ridge came into town, but now Dobbins Bennett's got to go to Oak Ridge. And Oak Ridge is going to remember what happened last year, Dobbins Bennett. So I'm maybe going to give a little slight edge to Oak Ridge just because they're playing at home.
Yeah, I think probably the same thing. I mean, obviously DB and Oak Ridge got a lot to play for on each side with the history, and being the start of the season, you want to start off on a good foot. But if I had to throw I would probably go the other way and give DB a little bit of the edge, just because they have that momentum maybe a little bit, and coming off getting beat so bad by Greeneville maybe, they don't want that bad taste in their mouth. So I'm going to give the slight edge to DB.
All right. Now, this Daniel Boone.
Keep a record on that.
I'm keeping record on that this year. Daniel Boone coming off a huge win last week over Knox Central.
No, Tennessee High.
Tennessee High. Sorry. Daniel Boone goes up against Tennessee High.
Oh, yeah.
And Tennessee High had a big win against Knox Central.
Win.
We thought Central would be one of the teams out of the Knoxville market that would be really good.
Oh, yeah. A lot of eyes were on Knox Central this year, especially after what they did the last couple of years. 2 years ago, they went to the state. Last year, didn't have really a great regular season, but molded their way almost to another stage.
It was almost
talent they have, they're really on the rise, and a lot of teams are looking at them. But guess what? People forgot about Tennessee High. Tennessee High is a team that has really been a little,
under the
so-so
radar.
the last couple of years. But what people don't realize is they have a young team. And now these young guys are now older and experienced. And Coach Mike Mays, who I played for him at ETSU, he's going to have these guys fired up and ready, and understand with this being a conference game, an early conference game, and with a team like Daniel Boone, who has two stud running backs, one by the name of Cole, 225 pounds. The other running back come in to fill his shoes is 200 pounds. And Cole, by the way, last year rushed for whatever he wanted to rush for. He rushed for almost 200 yards last week. So with that power and a little scat back, quick quarterback that Boone has, this is going to be a game to watch. But you know what? I'm going to something's telling me to go Boone, but I'm going to kind of go with my former teammate and feel that he's got that wants young team, experienced team Tennessee High on that role that he needs to be on. So I'm going to go with Tennessee High.
Okay.
Right, right.
Mr. Blevins?
Well, I think the same thing by picking Tennessee High, but I'll tell you why. I think Tennessee High, and you've all been on teams like this before, you've been an underdog every game for 5 years or 3 years. You've been in high school, all of a sudden your senior year, you win the first big game of the year, and now everybody outside of that locker room is like, oh, Tennessee High, but you're still in there going, they don't think we're nobody. They don't think that we can beat this team or that team. That's a scary team to play right there.
Yes, they are.
Tennessee High is a scary team right now. And the reason why, I bet you inside that locker room, the emotions are high. They think everybody has been waiting to see them lose every game. Now, watch out.
Watch out. Watch out. Watch out. All right, Daniel Boone. All right. The Ball Corporation game of the week is Greeneville Green Devils. They travel down to Morristown. You saw Morristown West play. You and I have caught some glimpses of Greeneville. They had a huge win last week against Dobbins Bennett. You go to Dobbins Bennett and you beat somebody in their house,
In that big
42-3,
stadium, with all those people.
in their house. Now, remember the movie? Nobody comes in our house. The Rudy movie. Nobody comes in our house and beats us.
Yeah.
But they went in there, and that speaks volumes of Coach Ballard's team. You know, they had their scrimmages. They scrimmaged Farragut. They scrimmaged Fulton. They had 3 major scrimmages, and then you go to DB. I'm going to let you guys make this call. Y'all call it.
We'll let him go.
Well, y'all heard me talking about Zach Young earlier in the show. I hope Zach is getting some ice baths. I hope he is taking every vitamin he can. I hope he is resting. I hope they are taking it easy this week on him at school. They're going to need him on every play, on every down. Now, that doesn't mean West's not a good football team. That doesn't mean West at home is not going to be prepared to play, and I definitely think Coach Sanders is going to have them ready to go. But Greeneville's got another beast on the other side at quarterback, and they got their eyes focused on big prizes down the road, but they ain't going to look past Morristown West.
No. That's one thing Coach Ballard will not have his team doing. If you talk to him when you interview him, we never talk about the game, the next game. You talk about Morristown West.
But I will tell you this about Morristown West. If they don't start off fast, same score against Greeneville. But West did start fast this last game. They came right out of the gate, pumped up, ready to go, and they started fast. They kind of lagged off at the end. With Greeneville, you're going to have to start fast and stay steady the rest of the game. But I'm picking Greeneville.
I'll tell you what, guys, I don't know if you're ready for this one, but Greeneville has all cylinders running right off the bat. And it all starts, I think, because in the preseason, I know we went over there and had a chance to talk to Coach, and Coach was very intense for that scrimmage against Farragut. He was so intense, he said, guys, it's just not a good time right now. But I kind of heard some things to where I felt I know why, because in one of the previous scrimmages, he felt they didn't play quite up to what Greenville's able to play. And we can understand that. I mean, you're coming up, these were young guys last year, now they're the seniors, and when you know, it seems a little similar back when I played and when we became seniors, had a great junior year. And you feel a little, sometimes overconfident. Sometimes that can affect your game. So I believe Coach Ballard said, I just got to keep the balance with my team, get them focused. And when I saw that scrimmage against Farragut, I mean, Cade Ballard, I mean, he's just like having another coach. I mean, that's the coach's son. So, I mean, he just orchestrated, it was just like him being a conductor. And I saw something interesting in the paper on Cade making a quote, and he was talking about, and this is, I want you to do the numbers here. He said, you know, it's nothing special I'm doing. He said it's about the team and how the team's able to play together. Of course, I'm paraphrasing, but in a nutshell, he mentioned, he said, I've got great, team, and as far as my specialties, talented guys, I have 2 great running backs and 4 great receivers. All right, I want y'all to do the math. So that's 2 great running backs plus 4 great receivers. That's 6, and we know what kind of weapon he is, being a dual threat quarterback. That's 7. Now wait a minute, how many people's on the field at
Only
one
11.
time? 11. So how many? So what I'm saying is, with all those players, they can't even be on the field at the same time. So they're so confident that they can just run guys in and out. And not miss a beat. And you saw what happened with Dobbins Bennett. I mean, that when I heard that score Friday night, I couldn't believe it, because if anybody's been at stayed with Dobbins Bennett, It's an amazing stadium. It's like playing Division I AA ball there. I mean, with the stands and the lights and the band and it gives you that football feel you want.
It does.
And for Greeneville to come into their house and pretty much put a stamp of embarrassment to them, that is scary right off the bat. So I hope West can bring a little bit more.
They're going to have to start fast. But I tell you what, too, with Greeneville, though, this has been in the making for the past 3 years.
Yes,
it just didn't happen last season.
No.
This is a 3-year build-up to now.
Yes.
This is their time to shine, and I think they know it,
Well,
and I think it's time. So.
On a point on that, they should have won state 2 years ago,
Yep.
but they messed around and let Knox Central knock them out in the first round. Because you remember we were talking about how they were going to play Catholic. It was coming down to Catholic, and Fulton beat Catholic, and Central beat Greeneville, and then hey, wait a minute here. But that team right there was as good as any team that Ballard's had. 2 years
And
ago.
guess what? They're older now. That's what makes it scary. I want to point out something real quick on some numbers with Cade. This is what he did last year. He's at this point had his best game. Not just obviously they played one game this year, but of his career. On Dobbins Bennett, this is what he did. He had 4 touchdown passes, 282 yards, 2 TDs rushing, and 147 yards on the ground. This kid almost had 500 yards in his first game. This is Mr. Tennessee from last year, or Mr. Football in Tennessee last year. So look out, Morristown West. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not even going to just look out, Morristown West. Be ready. Be ready. They're coming.
All right, when we come back, we're going to unveil the Your High School Sports Top 10 right here on Your High School Sports, powered by Mystic Mountain Media. We'll be right back.
The right services you need from a name you can trust at Crescent Center Drugs. Whether it's hormone replacement therapy or if you need to update your immunizations for flu, pneumonia, or shingles, Crescent Center Drugs has a professional and friendly staff always ready to take care of you. That's why for many years, Crescent Center Drugs has been your good neighbor pharmacy. Right now, getting your medicine is fast and easy when you sign up for the IVR system. It's simple. Once your prescription is filled, your box is scanned, and you instantly receive a phone call or text for pickup. Visit Crescent Center Drugs inside the Crescent Shopping Center.
Welcome back to Your High School Sports, and we're here to unveil our first top 10. A lot of firsts going on, guys. We're in our new studio. So if the light's off a little bit, we're trying to get everything together. It's the first show of the year. We did our preview show last week, but this is our new digs. We love it.
The light likes him.
I know. Aaron Rodgers is back here. Aaron Rodgers is back.
That's why the lights on.
That's why the lights on. When a man gives you a napkin at the food bar, you're supposed to say, just go on with it. All right, here we go, guys. I hope, this top 10, it's kind of, I know there's going to be some people out there that say, how'd they get that team?
Man, they can help us.
But yeah, send it in to YourHighSchoolSports.com. And once we do our top 10, send in your top 10 and let us compare.
I can already tell you, Big Daddy Vols going to be a little upset with who's at number 1.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure he feels there's a number.
You know that. Yeah. All right, here we go. Number 1 is Maryville. Anybody have a problem with that?
You know what? I don't have. You got a problem? I kind of do. Okay. I was gonna say I really don't know yet until because guess what? Maryville's got a tough one this week. They got to play. Guess who?
They play
Oakland.
Yeah, they play Oakland. But a game they played last week against Knox Catholic. They went to Catholic in Catholic's house and put a whooping on them.
Oh yeah. But I want to see what they're going to do at Oakland with that rematch. But he's got a.
I think. Well, go ahead.
Yeah, I know you think. Number 2 is Greeneville. Everybody's
Big Daddy Vol doesn't like it.
Alcora number 3, Knox Fulton. They'll be back. Coach Black was really happy with his team at media day.
I want to see what they're going to do. Remember, they haven't played yet. So
Elizabethton.
Well, I'll take that. I'll take it.
All right, Knoxville, Austin East.
I'm not confident yet, but we'll go with it.
Tennessee High.
Well, you're going to see.
And this kid right here, we met him at media days, Anderson County. Their quarterback is D1.
Yeah, I almost would put him at number 6 in the Anderson County.
We'll see.
I'm just trying to already stir it up at the beginning of the
season. I know you are.
He's got something good.
Knoxville Catholic, number 9, even though they lost to Maryville, they still belong in our top 10.
Yeah, Catholic's fine.
Because Matthews, they'll be there. They'll be there.
Fine.
And then Science Hill. Science Hill comes in at number 10.
That could have went either way with Elizabeth.
Yeah, so
that's fine.
Everybody, I know you.
Well, he's ready for you.
Well, I think that's going to be in there, but I just think, again, and I say this every time, that since Maryville has revamped their new coaching staff here in the past couple of years, I think a lot of people put a lot of emphasis on what they've done in the past, not what they've done today.
Yeah.
Now, I think Greeneville has got what it takes to put it out there. So I would switch those on week 1 here, but I like to live on the edge a little bit and kind of put it out there. So I would take Greeneville, and I also think that Tennessee High is probably a little bit high. Okay. I would even put Knox Catholic above Tennessee High right at this point, even though they just lost to Maryville. But guess what? Maryville's number 1 in our top 10. Yeah. Tennessee High is just not proving itself, but this is why we have a top 10. This is why we do it every week. We change it all the time.
Yep. So make sure if you would like to comment on our top 10, go to YourHighSchoolSports.com and give us your opinion, because it all matters. Mm-hmm. Everybody has one. Guys, it's been good to be back in our new digs.
Yeah.
Have Chris Blevins back with us for the year 2018. This is, can I say this, number 6?
Number 6, baby.
6 seasons for Your High School Sports.
Yeah.
For all of our sponsors that help make this possible, Buddy's Barbecue, Crescent Center Drugs. If you would like to be a sponsor of Your High School Sports, contact us at YourHighSchoolSports.com and we'll make a place for you.
Just before we go, I've got to talk about this Buddy's Barbecue here.
Oh, I know you was going to say something.
I really do appreciate it, traveling miles on the road, and I'm really hungry when I get here. It's good to know that there's some good old barbecue sitting there ready to go. That barbecue today we had was delicious, and I didn't know about the chicken, but the chicken was good too. Yeah. And I know Chris likes it. Chris likes Tia's best.
I really enjoyed it. It kind of puts you in the mood, When you think about football, you think about barbecue, tailgating. It's about that time.
You can tell they back together because they like to eat, Jack. They like to eat.
Really have a good time, yeah.
Definitely go out there and support your teams. I tell you what, it was an awesome atmosphere this past Friday night when I got out there. Get up there and watch some football. I'll tell you what, it was pretty exciting to watch them lace them up, and those kids were excited, and that's what you get every Friday night. That's why we all do this show, because these kids out here performing and doing just a fantastic job. And I tell you what, I couldn't have been more happy to watch an awesome football game Friday night. So I know they're coming. So.
Are you going tomorrow night to see Greeneville wins?
I'll probably go watch the first half a little bit at least to get to see it. But Morristown West don't sneak up, I'm not going to check it out.
Coach Sanders, no disrespect.
No, Coach Sanders, man, you keep doing what you're doing.
Hey,
we love you.
I tell you what, real quick, I know we got to go. Y'all saw what happened to IMG in that scrimmage. Anything can happen on any given Friday.
All right.
Like that.
For Chris Blevins, for Chris Reddick, I'm Rodney Woods, and we'll see you next week right here on Your High School Sports, powered by Mystic Mountain Media.
Of course, I wasn't going to try it.
Oh, man.